What is going down, everyone? It's time for Mojobreak.com. The Hype. This is episode 399. 400's around the corner. We got some special stuff for you guys. And the National is next week. We have our party Thursday, July 31st. Hope to see you guys there. We're running out of space, so get in now if you haven't RSVP'd and you're going to be in Chicago. Come check it out. We got more surprises that we can't even announce yet, but free breaks, karaoke contest, open bar, free food. We're going to be giving out packs. We're going to be doing free promos. We're going to be doing free breaks. It's going to be a blast. One for the century. It's our 15th anniversary party. And, man, I am stoked to see you guys in person, hang out with you guys, because it's always like, through the screen. And, we get to do this in face-to-face, like Dan says, face-to-face commerce. We get to hang out in real life. So, looking forward to that, guys. We got a juicy show today. Of course, we're kind of late on this, but we've got more details about the forgery scandal, the biggest one since Operation Bullpen, and why you should be worried about your memorabilia that you've purchased over the last 25 years, and how to navigate through this time going forward, and some ideas. We also got a huge release week. Topps Chrome is here Wednesday. Join me. I'll be on Fanatics Live early on 9 a.m. Pacific doing Topps Chrome. And Dan's looking around for some Topps Chrome. Are you looking for Topps Chrome?
I just realized what Dan's doing. So you can't actually, if you're watching us, you can't actually see the jerseys we have on display here. There is a Draymond Green autographed jersey.
Fake.
There's a Ronald Acuna Jr. I love it. It's like part jersey, part art piece.
Fake.
Autographed. And the messy one was always a little. That one's always been a little touchy anyway because of his whole autograph stuff.
It was always fake?
So who knows? Yeah,
well, why do we frame them?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. We'll get into that later on
now.
why I think that nobody caught this guy.
Is that Acuna that we have over there? Nobody can see it. This is terrible radio, but is that game used?
I don't.
No.
With the mural of him on the back?
No, but it's a very expensive piece, so
it's a cool one.
I don't think you can
really cool.
fake that, but we'll definitely discuss that. Yeah, Topps Chrome is huge, and we've got it on the website. We also have a free break of a half case going down at Mojobreak.com, so a few more days to get into that. And teams are selling fast. And I also wanted to promote our new show called The Breakdown, which will be on this same podcast network. You can also find it on YouTube. We're going to be joined by Mike Gio of Sports Card Nonsense. And The Breakdown is going to be just about product breaks, top hits from breaks, and how for you to navigate through breaks as far as picking your team and where the value is on some of the other lower-level teams. So that'll be a fun show where we're going to bring in breakers across the industry people, and we're going to do that on a weekly basis as well. So stay tuned for that. And we've got some other new releases this week. Noir. We've got Elite Football. We've got Luminance Football. And we got some big sales to discuss. Guys, I already asked Dan this, but, we always got to start off with some food. Have you ever been to the Pleasanton ice cream place called now I got to look it up.
I think I know what you're talking about. It's like a very famous one, right?
Also, Pleasanton, California.
Is this the
Meadowlark Dairy?
Oh, maybe. No, I have heard of this place. This isn't the place that serves the kitchen sink sundae.
No, this is all soft
What's
serve.
that?
The kitchen that one is one I want to say
it's pretty much everything in a sundae, right?
Yeah. Well, it's literally like in the bowl of the size of a kitchen sink. And it's everything in there.
So it's like 50,000 calories.
I want to say that one's like in...
It's for one person?
That one, I think, is like in Oakland or somewhere in the East Bay. I believe it was immortalized in the Pixar movie Up because they go and have ice cream at the end of it, and it's the little ice cream shop at the end is the actual ice cream shop that a lot of the Pixar animators like. Anyway, no, I've not been to this one.
But if you know our show, this is definitely a big back activity. So, but it is... This place amazed me because I got the directions. They're like, oh, yeah, it's kind of like, you kind of drive in, you get your ice cream, and it's just pretty quick. And I'm like, all right. So I put it in the GPS. We were coming from Pleasant Hill, which is 20 miles before Pleasanton on the way home to Santa Clara. And I pull up. I'm not joking. There must have been 300 cars in line. And I'm like, well, this is going to be insane. I'm going to be here forever, right? They actually had it directed out to the street. They had their own line made on the street. And you pull up. There's a bunch of looks like college kids or teenagers that have iPads. They're like, what do you want? They have 8 flavors, and you can combine any flavor of soft serve. So you can get the orange and the vanilla as a swirl. You can get the pineapple vanilla, you get chocolate, whatever.
50, but
Right. So they take my order.
I love it.
They take my order from the sidewalk, and I tap $3.
Very In-N-Out burger like.
They direct me. It was 30 seconds. I got my ice cream. I was done.
No, in and out. 3 hours.
I mean, it takes a while.
3 hours. Yeah, you get nothing done in 30 seconds at In-N-Out burger.
When's the last time you ordered from the actual microphone at In-N-Out burger?
1997.
Yeah.
I'm
saying that's what I mean.
Yeah,
Still
but
waiting. I'm still hungry.
That is efficient.
This was similar, but yeah, they had probably 60 people running ice creams out. And because they only have 8 flavors, they're probably they got somebody making it, they got somebody running it, and then they have 20, 30 people taking orders of cars. They must mark the car down because they gave me the right ice cream, $3. I was on the way.
I can't believe
I thought
that.
I was going to be there
Impressive.
for hours. And then they have people walking downtown. They have a separate line for that. It was madness, but it was very organized chaos, and I
Yeah.
loved it. And I marveled at this business model, and I was like,
impressive.
"This is great." So
I can't believe there was that many people that were getting soft serve ice cream.
it was the thing to do that day.
There's not that many places to go and
I-
just get good soft serve
think-
anymore.
I think if you want to be smart, you open up a Baskin Robbins right next to it.
Yeah.
And you get the people
But
who are like, I don't want soft serve, but I still want ice cream.
Right. I was going to say, they don't have soft serve.
Well, this was after a trip. I don't know if you guys have heard of
They
this.
can get a soft serve machine.
This was after
think.
for lunch, dinner. We had Zachary's Pizzeria, which is you can get either New York or Chicago.
Nice.
So you can get deep dish or you can
thin
get,
crust.
or you can get the thin crust.
Very nice.
Well, that's rare.
And their whole place was littered with they had a Master of Puppets, said Master of Pizzas, and they had Zachary's, and they had a Bluey logo that was their logo all around the place.
Where's this place?
This was in Pleasant Hill.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Shout out Pleasanton and Pleasant Hill.
Yeah, that's where I was doing softball tournaments
All
this
right.
weekend. So
I like it.
yeah, so
Love a soft serve. Love a soft serve dip cone from the boardwalk. That just brings back good memories
I
right
was
there.
just at the boardwalk.
Yeah. Good. Oh yeah, that's right. We talked about this.
Yeah.
down by the sea.
Not cheap anymore.
No, man,
Not cheap.
$80.
Not cheap.
$80. I'm not over it yet.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
Yeah, it's crazy. But they also have the chocolate dipped banana,
It's good.
which is, I think, the best dessert treat.
They have the deep fried Oreos there too,
They do. And deep fried Twinkies.
and deep fried Twinkies.
Those
Love a deep fried Twinkie.
deep fried Oreos are too messy.
Yeah.
Too
Give
messy.
me the Twinkie. The Twinkie deep fried is good, 'cause
Get
you can put it on a
me a
stick.
chocolate dipped banana, and I'm into it.
Yeah.
You're into it.
I'm
You can
into
buy those at the store now too. They're probably not the same, but you can get them.
Yeah.
No, they
Slices.
need to be
But
dipped in front of me.
yeah, let's get into this scandal, guys. Get back into the hobby. So if you haven't heard, there was a gentleman by the name of Brett Lemieux that came out with basically a confession on a Facebook group called Autographs 101. And you can find that at our buddies over at Sports Card Nonsense on their forum. They have screenshots of the whole entire post where this guy basically said that he was able to forge COAs from all the major companies pretty much and sell memorabilia that he basically learned how to auto pen, source the vector images for the auto pen out to China. It was a huge operation. He's saying he did over 4 million fake items. He's saying that I think it's 95% of all Aaron Judges on the market. This is what he claims are his and they're fake. Tom Brady, I think he mentions a few others that he would basically buy the legitimate ones or have signings with players, and then he would take that home and master how to copy these signatures on memorabilia like jerseys, balls, anything other than cards. There wasn't really a whole lot of mention in cards. He said once Kobe passed, he did 80,000 autographs of Kobe and put them into the market. This big, long manifesto saying he was just about to get raided. It was a good run, he said. He had changed the businesses several times because he was feeling the heat. He had employees that didn't know what he was doing. He said he had dealers that did know what he was doing, but they didn't care. They were making a lot of money. And he went along doing this for 20-something years. And he says he was making $100,000 in profit a week. And then after the raid, they found a body at the site of the raid, and it was apparently this gentleman that posted on Autographs 101, which is takes another turn for the story, which is just even more wilder that the man took himself out after putting this kind of manifesto online. And if some of you older collectors remember Operation Bullpen, that was in the 90s where it was more handwritten forgeries. This was like taking it into the modern age with forging COAs, going into databases and finding COA numbers of legit items. So you could buy this Tom Brady and it would come with a Steiner COA or a JSA or, Fanatics or whatever he was faking. And you could look it up as a person, as a customer who bought this and be like, totally legit because it would be in the database. So the thing about it is people are like, well, how would people not know? Well, if you sold a jersey to somebody in New York and then you sold the same COA to California, these people are never going to talk. They're not going to compare COAs. It's not like cards that get changed through hands a lot. So this guy got away with it for years. Somebody in the FBI came in. I don't know if there was a whistleblower, but they did the raid. Gentleman's dead. Story's wild. Seems like it's going to be a documentary at some point, maybe a train wreck on Netflix. But I think we, as a company that is all about integrity, that does things on the up and up, we've got to question autographs going forward. And we can kind of discuss on this show, what's it going to take to prove that Tom Brady signed these jerseys or Aaron Judge signed these jerseys? Pictures of them at a signing may not be enough anymore. So it definitely could post a black eye on this industry, especially from the memorabilia side. Want to get your guys' thoughts. We'll start with Cody and see what your thoughts are on this, and we'll kind of have a little roundtable discussion.
Yeah, it's like I think the magnitude of this feels like we're just at the tip of the iceberg here. I mean, this is pretty heavy stuff. Someone took his own life that kind of tells you the magnitude of what we're dealing with here, of what he thought he was going to be dealing with for the rest of his life if he lived it out. I think I'm quoting here. I saw someone from Beckett, from Steve Grad, Beckett Senior Autograph Authenticator, said, quote, "It's going to blow away Operation Bullpen. It will make that look like small beans." Just the technology that he has at his disposal, throwing out I just got an auto pen and just went to town, basically. And just everybody is cited here. It feels like there's nobody that is fully clear of this. It sounds like mostly memorabilia, but to him, for him to cite Panini, for him to say Fanatics, TriStar, all these guys that we've seen these boxes, we've gotten memorabilia, had them, all around. This is going to be a long, long process, and I don't really know where it goes from here, but I just know it's not going to be good here for a little while.
The immediate thought for me is that you don't sell that much items by just going to card shows, selling them on websites. To me, this was a wholesale operation, so I think if you bought into some of these, and I don't want to name any companies' names, but, if you bought some of these helmets that I see floating around on TikTok or jerseys, there's been an influx of them over the last 5 or 6 years where, the packaging looks great, the video looks great, you buy in, you find a TikTok breaker or a whatnot breaker, and he's got a case of it. I think that's where a lot of this stuff wound up going because, it's easy to these companies to call this guy up and be like, we need 10,000 pieces of, these players, and we're going to pack them up and distribute them. And, for all they knew, they had COAs, so they weren't necessarily in the know. Maybe they were. But I think if you bought any of these that weren't from Fanatics Direct, that weren't from Upper Deck Direct, that weren't from Panini Direct, I think you got to really look at it and see if it's, find the COA, look up the COA again, maybe even contact the COA manufacturer to see, hey, is this item compromised? To see if they know any of the data. If you're concerned, that's what I would do. Maybe go through everything. The thing about it is with memorabilia, like I said before, is like people are buying these at shows, they're mounting them on their wall, and they're never looking at the COA again. It's not like a trading card where you get an Aaron Judge rookie graded, and then you sell it, and then the guy who got it from you sold it, or he's traded it. And it's flipping through hands. Memorabilia, it doesn't move through hands as much as cards do. So
how many sports bars across America right now might be having fake jerseys on their wall or fake,
and they
fake
probably won't
autographs
even
on the wall.
ever know
No.
because this story is very minuscule in the world.
For them,
in
exactly.
National news.
It's just a small, just nice ambiance. They don't really care in the long run. By the way, you can go on MrManCave.com. Still active right now. You can still purchase items off of this website. This is apparently where the hub of all of this came from. Was this dealer, and you can still go on there right now, and they've got their full catalog available. So, for what's worth, eBay, I believe, did take their store off. They did ban them, so that there is starting to be some fallout there.
When I went on that MrManCave.com, obviously I'm looking at it through the lens of already knowing the story now, but I thought it was odd that every piece of memorabilia had the COA in the main picture.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like if you're like, hey, it's legit, you're going to throw the COA in the photo.
There's even some autos that look funky. The Shohei auto looks a little strange. Like I would have clocked. Like that seems, unless there's I don't know, maybe it's an older version of his auto. It just looked off though.
If you think about it, it was really and I'm going to get to what Dan's thoughts are here after this, but if you think about it, it's almost the perfect crime because a lot of times these, it's like, oh, aunt and uncle, their nephew's a big, Shohei Ohtani fan, and these people are trying to find the cheapest item they can. They aren't thinking value. They're thinking, I'm going to get little Billy, his favorite player's signed ball, and they find the cheapest price, which is typically one of these guys, and they buy it. And little Johnny thinks it's Shohei's ball. He's not going to check it. He got it from his aunt and uncle. He's not questioning it. He's just happy that they got him something that he likes. So it's just, it's literally the perfect crime until he got caught now. And now we don't even really know what the extent of it is other than taking what his word. But Dan, what do you think about this?
Oh, what do I think? I think it all started, and you'll date myself here, but remember in malls, they would have the kiosks that are in the center of the mall, and there was always like signed memorabilia and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It definitely predated like live e-commerce for sure. It kind of predated just e-commerce. But I always questioned a lot of those autographs. That's pretty much, and this person said they've been doing it for 25, 30 years, so that timeline kind of lines up. Fast forward to today's day and age of live e-commerce and all that good stuff. I was on TikTok over the weekend. I was watching, and Chad Johnson was ripping and selling signed helmets, NFL full-size helmets, and instantly I'm like, how do we look at these and go, these are legit at this point? If the numbers that he threw out there are correct,
mm-hmm.
then there is not a dealer or collector in this industry that has not been affected.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. If those numbers are correct, there's no doubt that we have probably opened up some memorabilia product or purchased some memorabilia or have some memorabilia in our shop that has been compromised.
Right.
So, yeah, I do feel that like his numbers were embellished. I don't think it was truly like the numbers that he was throwing out there seem like, no doubt it's a lot, but to say 95% of the stuff that's in the market for said players is counterfeit and from him, I think that's a little much.
The statement that he wrote on Facebook can be a little hard to follow at times. It does come off as like he is just rattling off everything he can possibly get out before.
Yeah, didn't he say $400 million worth of
something like
signed
that.
memorabilia?
He threw out
like,
a $400,
he put out there, and then he's like, I was making 100,000 like a week.
Right.
I guess if you're doing it that long, maybe those numbers like add up. But I think you're talking about $500 million. Yeah. I don't even know if there's that much signed memorabilia in the marketplace at any given time.
Right.
So I don't know. I think it was embellished, but there's no doubt that
well, you got to figure that on average, every signed jersey is selling for $400-$500. It doesn't take that long to get up to that number.
I mean, I feel that there's definitely. I think we've definitely probably have been involved, not knowing, like selling some product that was blind wrapped that probably wouldn't have been.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't deal with those smaller companies I mentioned earlier that come with the fancy packaging that looks like I've seen some that have like Cheeto looking packages or
oh yeah,
you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
I gotta say, like on TikTok, I would say there's more memorabilia breaks, at least in my algorithm on TikTok, than card breaks.
Well, TikTok too is like really getting some of the most popular stuff are like fake jerseys that look super authentic. Now people are buying them knowing that it's fake. But they're like, but it gets, especially like in the last couple of years of how Fanatics has changed the baseball jerseys where the lettering isn't that double stitched, heavier lettering and numbering anymore. And
don't love it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. But people are making these really, really nice double stitched, super nice. It's got a like nice weight to it jerseys but they're clearly fake. They're like
$50 or something like that.
They look like the eye test 95%. Yeah, would just be like great looking jersey. Would not know the difference. But,
right, and they don't feel bad about getting ketchup or mustard on their jersey that's $50 as opposed to $400 authentic.
Right,
jersey
exactly. That they might even be like the $50 one. I like the way it looks more than the $300 one. So that's just been a thing beyond even the autograph stuff. That's really caught on in the TikTok world.
Yeah, it's definitely something to look into. And I mean, what do you do now? Like if you're PSA, JSA, Fanatics, Beckett's, who does authenticate items?
How do you authenticate stuff?
How do you authenticate anything going forward after hearing the story?
Like I think if you are having a signing with a top tier athlete, I think you need to have Beckett, JSA, PSA, some representative there in the building during the signing.
They may have. See, this is the issue is they documented that this guy had a signing with some of these players, but if Brady signed 100 jerseys, he would just go home and make 10,000 more. Right. So, and then the COAs would only be the ones that were signed there. But like I said, people aren't communicating COAs. It's almost like I mentioned to Dan.
So you're telling me if you were to go out and just round up as much Tom Brady signed memorabilia as possible, right? You would probably have some certs that would double up at some point.
Yeah,
but we don't have that issue because everything is spread out over such a vast geographic area where somebody in New York, somebody in Nebraska, and somebody in California are probably not going to all get their memorabilia together to compare the COAs.
And he must have been smart enough that if somebody ordered 2 John Elway or 2 Peyton Manning jerseys,
not send the same,
didn't send the same COA. And maybe even, like you said, geographically, maybe he was smart enough.
I think that's common sense. I don't think I'd say that's smart.
You never know. You never know. Well, because he said he had employees, and they didn't know about it. So he obviously must have had ways to negate the same COA getting out.
Yeah.
And that's why when he says he hacked into the databases, I don't know if I necessarily believe that. I think he basically bought enough that he just reproduced those numbers from that COA. He bought 100 COAs, and he made 10,000 items, and he spread out the 100 COAs across the other fake 10,000 items.
Yeah. But hasn't this been going down? Like, I go to 86 Jordans. There's no doubt that there's been slabs that have been cracked out, a higher grade Jordan taken out, lower grade Jordan put in, re-slabbed, and then sold, and then you take...
Or even faking the slab.
Or faking the slab, and then taking said Jordan that is raw now, getting it resubmitted. You essentially could have traded in a 7 Jordan for an 8 or a 9 Jordan.
Yep.
Yeah. And the PSA cert would check.
It would. I mean, it's a little harder to crack it out cleanly and try to get it back in there, I think, than then I think people were faking slabs.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no doubt that people were faking slabs, but that's also another way of going about and doing it.
What happens here with just the memorabilia industry specifically, autographed memorabilia? Like, do we just have a massive purge over the next 6 to 12 months of like, what do you even do for a company like, I know Fanatics, Panini, they have cards that they can lean on, and they're like, we're fine. Upper Deck, same thing. Like we can lean on the card industry because that's our bread and butter. But like someone like TriStar, is it just like they go in the inventory and be like, what, 90% of what we have, 50? Do they even? How do you even wrap your head around that? Are they just toast?
I could say for TriStar specifically, we actually had probably stopped ripping a lot of their memorabilia stuff 3, 4, 5 years ago, and it had nothing to do with this. It had to do with like just the autograph subjects that you would get case in and case out. Just wasn't a tremendous value for the customer in our opinion. So I think we kind of phased those out. Now I see solicitations. I'm not even going to second guess not ordering them.
Right. I mean, and memorabilia is fun. It's the breaks are fun, and people love them. People request them a lot. I mean, you can put Emanate in that same category as a memorabilia item. It's under Fanatics under wraps. I mean, but those are hard signs, so they have to be witnessed. So unless Fanatics is using a third-party person to obtain the autographs, I think we're okay on all of that stuff. Cards pack pulled, I mean, those seem to be safe. There's serial numbers with those. A lot harder to get around that if you can't you can't produce a Ohtani 101 twice. You know what I mean? You can't. The 199s, you're going to find out that there's 250s or whatever, and replicating that chrome technology and all that stuff, a lot harder than just going out and buying a $300 Tom Brady jersey and auto penning it and then selling it for $600 as opposed to $1,200 that Fanatics would sell it for. And that's where I think these guys thrived at, is because they didn't have to worry about reproducing the actual material. They could buy the material on the open market and it's legit, or you had the people signing numbers and making the cheaper versions of that too. But when this guy was using legitimate items, you can't fake cards. There's a way to find that out.
I mean, I have an absolute doom and gloom scenario for cards. I don't know if you want to hear it or not.
Well,
and it pertains to stickers, because we know these stickers come in like big binders.
Yeah.
And we know that those at times may get sent to clubhouses of the teams and stuff like that, work through like an agent maybe. What if this person reached out to said agent and said, hey, I know you have 40,000 stickers that you need to sign right now. What about if I already have your autograph perfected. Nobody will know the difference. I actually have all the stickers made. All you got to do is float me $5,000. I will send you the packet of all already signed stickers, and then you can just submit them into the manufacturer. Like, I know that's
tough.
extremely far-fetched, and honestly, like there would be agents that would know that situation exists. I don't
and
think
I think
that happened.
and the money for that is so minuscule for these guys' reputation and contract that I don't think that necessarily happens. I think what you see happening is, Leo Messi's getting these cards and somebody's signing for Leo Messi because Leo Messi doesn't have the time.
Right.
But he did sign a contract and he needs to fulfill that contract. So, hey, handler, or sister or brother or wife or whatever, hey, I'm really busy this weekend. I need to get these cards back to Panini. Can you just, practice my autograph? I think that's Shaq had a questionable autograph. I mean, we've seen the Randy Arozarena deal with on the definitive cards that Topps got out in front of where somebody signed it. I think you see more of that than like a big player getting involved, like a big forger getting involved into these dealings, because we just had a deal with Marshawn Lynch that we were going to, it didn't work out, but we were going to have Marshawn Lynch break at our booth at Fanatics Fest, and it didn't work out with him and Lendell, but he was really concerned with his deals that he had going on. that he didn't want to affect those deals. So, I mean, and that's from a guy that's retired, who's not currently getting NFL money. I'm sure he's doing fine with the money that he made and all his other endorsements.
Well, very famously, did not spend a single one of his NFL paychecks, right?
Right.
Put them all in savings during his career and just lived off the endorsement money for those years.
Right. So, I mean,
he's a smart money man, is what I'm. Yeah. So
it's not worth it for these guys to not make the $50,000 that Panini's going to pay them and try to screw that over. It's just not worth their reputation. So I don't think it's happening for cards. But we also don't know the inner workings. Where are they obtaining the autographs? So there is a little bit of concern with the cards, but I think it's so much more hard. It's so harder to do that than it is to do this on a jersey on a larger scale.
We're at the end of this FBI investigation. Whenever that happens, we're going to hear the hard numbers. I'm sure there's going to be some truth to what the confession said. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of truth to it. Maybe there's going to be some stuff that the numbers don't look as big. But at the same time, I think kind of alluding to what we said at the beginning, if some of these autographs look so good that no one can tell the difference, who is to say that this number, that whatever number that you put out there seems too crazy or too big? So there's just going to be a cloud hanging over this for a while, and it will take like one of these companies. I don't know what you do other than like, you have a camera on these guys while they're signing things, and I don't know.
Well,
but you don't want to go that far.
If you're a collector and you have a bunch of signed memorabilia, do you take a chance of resubmitting it,
right,
to getting it authenticated? And how are the authenticators going to handle that? Yeah. Are they going to assume that everything that they see now is fraudulent?
Well, I think somebody, and I don't have the capacity to do this, I think there's a few things that need to happen. And I also think that there's a huge opportunity to reset this whole thing and kind of start over, right? There's a huge opportunity for somebody, a company, that can pull this off to 125% guarantee that they can't be tampered with. Like there's ways. There's like Labubus. My daughters are all into Labubus, right? Well, what Pop Mart does is they put a QR code specific to each Labubu, not even the secret one, that when it's scanned in, that's scanned in. You can't scan another one in. So if there was a COA that has a specific scan-in code that when you receive that from Fanatics or Panini and you scan it in, that is locked in. You don't even have to put your information in. But if that COA comes out for somebody else's thing, then it's like, it's already been scanned in, right? So now you can't duplicate a COA. Right, so I think that first and foremost needs to happen. But I think we can do, if somebody wants to take the reins on this, is let's get a group together to find out where the COAs are, like what items have the same COAs, right? And that's where you can start. Is like, all right, Aaron Judge collectors, put all your COAs on the. I mean, maybe you don't want to necessarily do that. Maybe you want it to be like more like hidden from the public.
It's a tall task.
It's a tall task, but then maybe you could start kind of identifying what items were. Because I don't think if he did an Aaron Judge jersey, he's probably not doing a lot of other stuff, right? He probably specifically stayed in a lane of an item. So
sure, and like you said, like if he had a signing with Aaron Judge, if anybody asked Aaron Judge, he'd be like, "Yeah, I did a signing."
Right.
I did a signing. I signed, 150 items. He has no idea that there were 100,000 items that were produced from that 150 from those 150 items.
Right. So they probably didn't deviate from a gray jersey that time or a black jersey or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't be like, oh, he signed some Sports Illustrated magazines too. He's like, no, he didn't. He didn't sign it that day. So I'm sure it's like a very specific item. But athletes do stuff like this. Like I've heard Bo Jackson, when he had a signing, he doesn't do the Tecmo Bowl anymore. So he won't sign Tecmo Bowl. And he won't sign that score where he's wearing the pads and he has the bat. He doesn't sign, and I don't know the reason why, but he doesn't do that anymore. Maybe because he's been caught up in some forgeries, or there's been people forging his autograph.
I'm sure.
It's something that has to do that, so he probably refuses to do that now.
We got a Tecmo Bowl.
We do, but I think at some point...
Isn't the one
that's from Steiner, but we did buy that from Steiner directly.
And also that one is not like... It's almost like a mock-up of it, right? It's not quite the official...
It's got a controller.
Right, it does have the controller.
But I don't think he knew that that's what the item was going to look like at the end.
That's what I mean, yeah, is that it's Like just slapping a sticker on.
I think we see a lot of that because I remember it happens a lot with Ginter. Time Ginter comes out, years down the line, like you'll get an artist or a comedian or something that hits up on Twitter and goes, "I didn't sign that." Dave Portnoy actually was in one of the Ginters, and he was like, "I 100% did not sign that." Well, when he signed it, it was a mini card. Well, when it got put into the product, it has a plastic acetate over it, and it has a border. And now it's a full-size card. But when he signed it, he didn't sign it as a full-size card. So he's looking at it going, I did a signing. I was in that product. That right there is not what I signed.
Right.
And there's been like I think 2 or 3 different athletes. Most recently, at the Edge from WWE came out, and it was a Leaf card, and he was like, "I did not sign that. You need to check and see where that came from." And then Brian Gray was like, "Is your agent this? You signed this on this day. Here's a picture." And he goes, "Oh, I didn't know. It was a sticker I was signing." So I think a lot of these guys that aren't involved in the industry, they're signing stickers. They're not knowing it's going on cards.
They're not when they're sitting down and doing that. They're not thinking about especially the
honestly,
stickers.
they probably
they
don't.
know.
They don't even know they're signing these stickers for trading cards. Like they have no idea.
No, it's why you get those, especially the Leaf cards, where it's like dynamic duos, and it's guys who would probably never, if they knew they were going to be on the same card together, they would never sign that.
So
card,
So to get back to, and there's a lot of things like we hung out with Tom Petty when we've talked about it before, but I brought an acoustic pick guard to have him sign. Now, an acoustic pick guard is standardized across all acoustic guitars for the most part, and it just has a little peel adhesive on the back that you can just put it on any guitar. Well, I was told that he doesn't sign pick guards, and the reason why a lot of these musicians don't sign pick guards is because they have endorsements with Fender, Gibson, Paul Reed Smith, Ibanez. Those pick guards can go on guitars that they are not a part of.
Right.
And they can basically breach their agreement and endorsement deal. So a lot, and I didn't know that. I didn't know that until at this point. But a lot of music artists don't sign pick guards for that exact reason.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And
but it's the same thing with stickers for cards, though.
Right.
Like they don't know what the end use is going to be on these stickers.
I will never forget the episode where I think you came on and were like, "How the hell?" I was in the room with Tom Petty. We have a picture.
You want to know why?
And it never got authenticated.
Because they probably realized it was a pick guard,
right?
And he doesn't sign pick guards,
right? But now in the wake of this,
they probably have never had a pick guard submitted.
Yeah,
and they're like, "This can't be real."
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And then and he did do a pretty elaborate drawing on it because we were friends with his one of his family members. And, I'm sure he's like, hey, they're not going to resell it, which we're not. But he's like, they're not going to resell this, so, don't worry about it. They're not going to put it on a guitar. It's not going to break your contract. So he did it, and he signed it, and he drew a picture of him smoking. And, we submitted it just to have some cert for later on in life. And they didn't pass it. So, and we were in the room. We watched him do it. So
in the wake of all this, just seems crazy, but you're right. It's exactly what you said. It's because of that.
Well, and I think there's some bigger issues here that we're not even going to talk about. That people build relationships, and I'm not calling out any names. This is all just alleged. These guys build relationships with guys that do authentication, and it's like, okay, well, this guy's submitting it, it's good. Right. And you kind of build these relationships. Maybe there's some money being passed around. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, John does $1 million in authentication a year and he's submitting these autographs. Well, it's good. I'm not even going to question it. I'm not even going to look it up. So, I mean, you've got to look at kind of those scenarios as well. I think we just need to be. It's a very archaic side of our industry in a modern age that needs to be updated, and I think this is an absolute wake-up call of something that needs to happen to make the public, to make collectors feel safe about buying memorabilia again, whether it be images, whether it be QR codes that scan specific to the item. there has to be something, and I think that there's some company that could really make a lot of money doing this.
Wow.
And like I said, we kind of have a reset right now on memorabilia.
Well, if there's one company, because it's going to be a very big task, a lot like logistical nightmare. If there's one company that can do it, and we'll talk about them. It's Fanatics. It's that they're big enough that they can be able to handle something like that. The tech, the infrastructure, the tech behind all of that to have something big and up and running to do that. But that's of course we'll talk about it in a little bit. Maybe something that collectors are.
You're right, not to cut you off there, but I had a thought in my head about like. We see these athletes wanting to be involved in the hobby with Fanatics. We've seen Livy Dunn. We've seen Alex Rodriguez walking around Fanatics Fest. So it's like you kind of trust the fact that they are getting these people to go to these events. They are building relationships, and Michael Rubin always preaches, and this isn't a puff piece, this is just what I see, is he has said he doesn't want to do big deals with people that don't want to be in the hobby, that they just want to make a buck. So he's making deals with Wembanyama. He's got deals with Tom Brady. And these guys are investing in the hobby. They're getting into it, like Tom Brady with, Card Vault and, Wembanyama being involved. So, like, if you get a piece from them, you're like, well, yeah, Tom Brady's out and he's competing against other customers in the hobby. He's owning a card store. Of course it's real because it's from Fanatics. I feel comfortable with that.
Yeah. And, again, not to – because there's a story later on we'll talk about where that definitely gets into the negative sides of what is transpiring and what some people and consumers and collectors are worried about with Fanatics getting a much bigger hold in the hobby. But part of the thing that I think was the allure of it is that you avoid situations like what we're seeing with this forgery, is that because players are bought into this, players are literally getting a piece of the pie, that they are going to feel more encouraged and feel more like, well, oh yeah, I will sign, I'll take a couple of hours to sign all these autographs. Maybe this is something I wouldn't have wanted to do 5-6 years ago because of whatever I'm getting paid. But now I know I'm getting a chunk of that, whatever it is, revenue sharing or whatever they've baked into these players' union contracts that they didn't have before.
And before we move on, I know this has been a long topic, but what's just weird about the scenario is he comes out with this, very egotistical kind of like post. I mean, even in the post itself, when you find it, we only went over a few of the details. Is he was like, anybody that got in my way, I took them out. I made TriStar. He even used the B word, like they became my bitch. All these companies that tried to mess with me, I made them pay. And it was very egotistical. And then it's like, and then he takes himself out. It's like, for what though? Like you're going to get what, 5 years federally? Like,
who knows?
And I don't know what mental state, this individual's in. I've never met him, never heard of him until this story. He did do a good job of keeping himself under wraps, no pun intended. But he was out of the spot. I even found his Instagram, and he had like 1 or 2 signings. He didn't say that he was a part of it or anything like that. He didn't have any pictures of memorabilia on his Instagram. He only had like 500 followers, very modest. So it's just like you wonder if there was more nefarious activities involved in this.
My guess is you're right. Potentially, I don't think the jail time would have been anything more than maybe, 5-10 years, which, again, is not an insignificant amount of time. It's a lot of time, especially he appeared to be in his middle age, mid 40s, early 50s.
Yeah, mid to late 40s.
So, 10 years from
young man.
That's 10 years from now, all that, but.
And frankly, we got to figure a lot of these deals were done with cash. Right. So, I mean, if he had enough wherewithal to know that they were coming, he could have hit the cash.
I think the bigger thing is the money, is that even if he spends 10 years in prison the moment he's out, there's just nothing there for him. All his money is gone.
Yeah.
It's all I don't know.
I still
You're
don't.
right.
The end result,
I know.
seems a little much.
Right. I mean, I'm not going to – there's a lot going on
because there's
moment.
nobody that's really even talking about this through that lens. And I always say I'm a conspiracy enthusiast. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I think that, you got to look into something like that as well. Like, this guy had a daughter. He recently was married from what I could tell from my research, allegedly. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy. But, just do this. It's
so
just,
alluding to the fact that there was other people involved?
I mean, there's certainly other people. This is not for something of this magnitude. This
The only
is
way
not
we're
a
going to
one-man
find out
operation.
is a movie.
Yeah, well,
It's just you wonder they're not going to investigate this like they would, the Idaho college murders that was a great show on Hulu. But they're not going to send like that. I mean, that as far as I know, they're not going to like look into it farther than like, okay, gunshot wound. Looks like a suicide. That's it. We're not gonna spend a lot of time.
But you also got to figure that if there was product seized, I'm assuming there was signed memorabilia that was seized at some point.
yes.
And probably computers or some type of technology. There's going to be dots that are going to be connected to figure out like who he was selling a majority of this product to.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
There's no way that like there's not going to be any more dots connected to anybody else in this industry from this situation.
Yeah. And I want to say too, the amount of money we're talking here, where we're talking about potentially $500 million, 10 years we might be completely underselling the 10 years in prison thing. That's just that's a lot of money into a major forgery ring here. That's.
I mean, how long did the guy from Operation Bullpen do time?
I don't
for?
know.
That's
I
a
don't-
good.
That would be
Google
kind
right
of the
there.
litmus test, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Right. I mean, you got to figure the guy had, and I'm not condoning his act. I
don't-
hope he would be locked up for 40, 50 years. But I'm just saying.
I don't think the Operation Bullpen did more than 10 years.
Well, there's a good thing we have the internet.
Oh,
I'm
the
looking it up.
internet's.
I'm looking.
Who's
Yeah.
got the fastest Google fingers?
Yeah.
It's just, he did name some other names in there. Was there a chance he was going to name some more?
This story's a bummer.
Well, there's 60. So here you go. In 2005, the operation was ended. This comes from Wikipedia. It is sourced. After shutting down 18 forgery rings and confiscating $15 million worth of fake memorabilia. Yeah, this is if those numbers he threw out there are correct, this is going to make Operation Bullpen look like child's play. Like that's 60 convictions total. So this is going to be more than he could be the ringleader of a. If we're talking about that money, I don't know. Just how I can't do the math quickly, but it's going to be a lot more than 60 convictions. Let's put it that way. And if he's at the top of the food chain, yeah, that's probably more than 10 years in prison.
Well, who is the name of is it Greg Marino?
Don't know. I didn't see any major names that were associated.
Or is that was interviewed for the counterfeiter as part of the
Yeah, here you go. Yeah, master forger Gregory Marino. Wayne Bray, a memorabilia shop owner, met master forger Gregory Marino in 1994. The two became friends and went into business selling forged Mickey Mantle autographs, among other items.
Okay, here it goes.
Another notable figure is John Olson, who forged 10,000 autographs, majority of which were Muhammad Ali.
In 2000, 5 members of the Marino family and 20 other individuals pled guilty to charges related to a forgery ring. Greg Marino was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison.
Yeah. So I still think we're looking at a lot more jail time considering the magnitude of this one, the potential magnitude of this one.
25 years?
Yeah, but again, that's
25 years.
most of, if not the rest of,
This one says on the FBI document that it was over $1 billion in Operation Bullpen.
Yeah.
$1 billion in sports memorabilia in the market.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, the numbers are a little, it's a lot, and we're gonna be feeling it for a while in the memorabilia department. So
Yep.
crazy.
Stay tuned for updates on that. But let's get into some more happy, positive.
There we
hobby
go.
Yeah.
Let's go. What are we talking about?
Topps Chrome Baseball, baby.
All right.
Let's see what it's all about. They got a lot of new stuff in there. We're gonna be talking about on the breakdown coming out later this week as well. Noir has been a super popular pre-sale price demand on that one as well through MojobreakShop.com.
Derrick Rose signing again.
Derrick Rose
That's
in
the big
there.
sell.
Everybody's like, this could be the last Noir ever. So it's you got those spotlight signatures. You've got the shoe signatures. You've got logomans in there again, of course.
We got a Donruss Elite and Luminance coming out the same week?
2025 football.
I know Luminance is coming out for sure. I don't know about Elites, but
Currently scheduled for Friday. We'll see. We'll see if that ends up happening.
Luminance Wednesday.
There's also Obsidian Soccer this week as well. There's a lot of stuff. coming out this week.
And Noir features a new biopic metal frame inserts featuring some of the best NBA players. Derrick Rose has autographs featured in the set. Yeah, some of his first autos in a while. And, Panini has been like, we're putting logo mans in everything. Logo man's in Spectra. Logo man's in Noir.
You get a logo man.
Logo
you get a
Man's
logo man.
in Mosaic.
Next thing you know, it'll be logo mans and NBA hoops. It should be going really crazy. Why not? We need to put them somewhere.
Yep. And the Nationals around the corner, too. We don't have that on the news, but we'll see how the feeling is at the National. We'll see how many people are selling memorabilia.
That's
true.
That's what I'm waiting for. I want to see. And honestly, it's the uncertainty, and I know we just talked about that for a lot. It's the uncertainty if it's legit or not. So, how aggressive are some of these dealers that deal solely in memorabilia? How aggressive are they going to get on price?
Are there going to be guys who are just like, everything must go? I gotta get these out of my hands. God, yeah, that's gonna be the talk. Everyone, or at least just the underlying. Everyone's gonna be whispering about it the whole time. Of geez.
And then we do have a little class action lawsuit for Fanatics. Is this being brought by the people, or is it by another company?
So there was an individual who was who wanted to make this a class action lawsuit. I'll get the exact details here, but yeah, a class action lawsuit is being filed against the U.S. major sports leagues and Fanatics. The complaint alleges that Fanatics has created a card monopoly, quote, resulting in inflated prices and reduced consumer choice. This is sort of something we have seen brought up a few times, but now this is the first time where we're really seeing it get some legs. And
does it have legs?
Well, it's enough that it's being reported. It's going to be tough. It's not going to. This is an uphill battle, obviously.
It's not an open and closed case by any means. No.
Suit was filed by, this comes from Sports Collectors Daily. The suit was filed by the law firm DeCello Levitt on behalf of Philip Jones. So it sounds like it's just a consumer or a collector said, hey, you might have something here if you guys go with it. So the complaint alleges, as I said, together with the other leagues, their respective players' associations, and one team partners, a licensor of athletes' names, images, and likenesses, orchestrated a conspiracy in the market for newly issued licensed professional sports trading cards. Fanatics, of course, is saying this is ridiculous. We're not worried about this. And it's also not the first, it's just now one of another mounting legal battles here for Fanatics. Of course, there's still the ongoing legal issues with Panini as well.
I mean, I don't know what constitutes a monopoly. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with some of this stuff that it's said on these complaints. I mean, they've made things a lot better from a marketing aspect. Like we just mentioned, the athletes, we have a little bit more clarity on people who are signing things. We have people that are doing advertisements like Tom Brady, David Ortiz. Like they've done a lot more for bringing more awareness to this hobby. But I guess at the same time, you look at it like, what if Pepsi was like, they're the only soda you can buy.
Right. And and I think this is the thing in sports in general, where fans are starting to get a little worried. I think where you're like, my jersey is made by Fanatics, my cards are made by Fanatics. So it'll be interesting to see how things.
I go place sports bets, and I go to Fanatic Sportsbook.
Right, exactly. Here's another quote. This comes from Gregory Asciola, a partner at DeCello Levitt. Fanatics' conduct has fundamentally altered the competitive landscape of the trading card industry, locking out rivals and leaving collectors and fans with no real alternatives. So it's, again, stuff I think we've heard here of the main complaints against Fanatics and from collector standpoints. And, I mean, anytime I think fans and collectors can leverage something
is there another industry or item or any other sports product that we can be like, all right, they're the only ones that make this type of thing, and you know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking about it.
The last big major monopoly case I can remember here was AT&T. if you remember in the early 2000s, I think there was a monopoly case that was eventually successful and disbanded them for a time. Now they're kind of, because it was like, wait, my
were gonna buy
telephone.
T-Mobile
It
or
was
something?
essentially all like they realized so much media was being consumed by AT&T, television, especially in the early days of the internet, telephone. Now they're buying it I think it was around the time they were buying like Warner Brothers and stuff like that. So it was like, whoa, wait a minute. I think there was a major. I
had enough money to name the Giant Stadium AT&T Park.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
so I have to look that one up of like their monopoly lawsuit, but I remember that one being a really big one.
I wonder if that's why they changed their branding to Uverse.
Here you go. This is it right here. AT&T. So the Bell system. So that's what they were before they were when they were Pacific Bell. Virtual monopoly.
AT&T was Pacific Bell?
Yes. Yes. They had a virtual monopoly over the telephone infrastructure in the United States from around the early 20th century until 1982. So that was the big one, and I feel like there was another.
It was a great year.
Years later, they tried to kind of just like bring it back around.
This is obviously the era of the telephone.
Yeah, exactly.
The rotary.
Oh, the rotary phone.
Yeah, but it took them a long time to get back. But yeah, that's the one I'm
I mean, obviously for us, like, and we've even said this during the. I mean, nobody really went after Panini at the time. I mean, they didn't have baseball. They never had baseball, but they had taken the license away from Topps for football and basketball, and people were complaining. And you can go back to, we've done this show for 10 years, 15 years now, and we're like, we want competition for Panini. Because competition makes more creativity and creates more value to the consumer, because now instead of being the only show in town, you have to beat your competition, which means you have to get like creative and you have to do things, a little bit better than, your competition. So in a perfect world, I would want the two licenses to happen and Topps to make football cards and Panini to make football cards that are licensed. And then you could kind of, pick your favorite design. But now I guess the essence of a monopoly, if you're a football, basketball, baseball, Marvel, Star Wars fan, you can't get cards anywhere
There
else.
is nowhere else to go.
You look at it from like the league perspective. Like, why wouldn't they want to cash two giant checks from two manufacturers to make?
Just think,
and I get it. It's leverage for one manufacturer to basically be like,
Right.
look, we're going to pay you the same amount anyway.
Well, when the leagues are already bought in, though, from the merchandising aspect, it just makes it all cleaner.
It helps with negotiating. We're like, well, how great of a partner we already are.
Yeah. I think that's it for them, is that they're already benefiting as it is. So it's like, well, it makes everything cleaner. It's all under one roof. Yeah, fine, let's do it.
I mean, it was a perfect time for Rubin to play some chess when everybody was playing checkers, because from what I understand, Panini's contracts involved guarantees. They involved, like, we have and I'm just throwing numbers, I don't know the exact number, but like say 2019, they were like, we owe the league $40 million. That's what we're going to pay. We're going to pay $40 million, regardless if Panini makes $30 million or they make $100 million, right? So they're paying that guaranteed money to the league, and it's up to Panini to figure out how they can pay that and become profitable. What Fanatics came in and said, and this is during the pandemic, so the leagues are seeing Panini go, well, they pay us $30 million, but they're making $200 million now. This is what the hell, this is, they're booming and we're getting paid the same amount. Kind of like what you alluded to, the WNBA contract. It was a contract that was signed when things weren't as popular.
We were talking about off air. Yeah.
And we were. Yeah. So it was like, where the WNBA's contracts might have been early before Caitlin Clark came around. But regardless, the leagues are looking at that. So then Rubin comes in and goes, what we're going to do is we're going to do a revenue share. So if we make $200 million, you're getting this. And then you're going to get this more if we do more. We're going to do this if you do more. Mm-hmm. But also, if they do less, they get less. So, but the leagues probably were like, and then, the players are getting a percentage of the revenue now, which Panini was just paying them direct before. They were working out deals with the players for autographs before. That's why you would only see, like, I use the example of like Cam Newton. Cam Newton, you had to get him in his rookie year. They would have all the rookie year products. You didn't see Cam Newton in 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015. Cam Newton wanted $250, $300 an autograph, so they weren't putting him in product anymore. So they were only picking the rookies, and they were getting some vets at good prices. But now Fanatics is so involved that they're actually giving the players more money based on the sales of the product. The league liked that because they were looking at Panini and going like, well, these guys are just giving us a flat amount. There's no room for growth.
Right.
So they're like, all right, sign the exclusive, pull the exclusive. Not pull the exclusive, but sign the exclusive. Panini's good till 2025 and 2026. We can't break that contract. But we don't like this business model. We like the fact that the sky's the limit on the revenue.
Yeah.
So it was literally like Panini was like, well, we're finally having some great years. We're like, people are collecting our stuff, and we're not having to sideways our product at the VIP parties and make people buy packages and stuff like that. We're selling out everything. We're having a great time. And then it's like, but the leagues are like, well, wait. You guys are making too much money. Like, we need to get more of that. And then Fanatics came around. So
I don't know if it got to the point where Panini was making too much money though.
No, probably not. Because they kept the distributor pricing. Insane.
I think Panini had an opportunity to make a bunch of money, and I don't think they changed their.
The distributors made a ton of money.
Distributors, yes. I don't think Panini changed.
I'm not gonna lie, we made some money. We made some money in those years too. We had good allocation.
We didn't make distributor money.
We didn't make distributor money.
That.
I think this class action lawsuit is about 2 or 3 years too early because all these deals aren't fully locked in yet.
But they're probably trying to.
Oh, they're trying. And you know what? Get it in now and then in 2 or 3 years where it's like, oh, Topps now does have NBA, NFL, MLB. Hell, who knows? Maybe they start to get in discussions with NHL at some point. I don't know if it's something in the.
I think Upper Deck actually just extended.
They did
with NHL.
Then yeah, they're not going nowhere.
They're not going anywhere.
And that's the thing
But doesn't that keep it from being a monopoly?
And this is where it's in a way they are kind of the like Fanatics looks at them and goes, that's fine. Let Upper Deck have NHL because it keeps them in this zone where it's like, but not technically.
Class action lawsuits like this it's really broad with trading cards.
Yeah.
Well, their comeback is like, go collect NHL cards.
Right. Upper Deck's right there.
Upper Deck is right there, and you can get all the NHL cards you want.
We're not taking NASCAR. Panini, you can go buy NASCAR with Panini.
Soccer.
Most underrated category in all of sports.
Well,
but
funny Premier League's about to make its debut with Topps.
No, I'm talking NASCAR.
No, I know.
But World Cup soccer still with Panini.
Right.
Right. Which they're going to have a big year in that regard, too, with the World Cup being next year with stickers. Yeah. That's where, if you don't know, that's where Panini got their money to buy to start Panini America and go after licenses. The soccer stickers,
we already got them in. We already got them in the shop.
I know that was like the pre-ones, right? I think there's like the road to the World Cup, and then there's another one.
I thought that was actually the road, the World Cup.
I could be wrong, but
by the way, the other big monopoly. This is the one I actually was thinking about. Microsoft was a big one. That was in the late '90s. Microsoft. Highly publicized trial found that Microsoft
Internet Explorer
had strong-armed many companies in an attempt to prevent competition from Netscape.
Internet Explorer.
Internet Explorer. Yeah. So
yeah, you buy a computer, you got Windows.
Right.
It was Internet Explorer.
Yeah, you got all of the Microsoft products. Exactly. Yeah. So.
And then Safari came in and took over everything.
Okay. So. Well, nobody uses Safari. It's Chrome.
It's funny because you want to know who might be the next one up is Apple. They might be the next one up, especially that's why those rumors for years that they might buy Disney have always been
you mean Apple's going to be sued as a monopoly?
Well, that's why the Disney stuff they've been kind of every time it's about to happen. They kind of step off a little bit or like the rumors cool down because then people are like, all right, cool. So literally just everything is here.
I'm jumping on that class action lawsuit as soon as it drops. I had an iPhone 3 or 2 or 4 or whatever.
Shout out to anyone who got into that class action lawsuit about Siri because I saw that. I'm like, oh, yeah, I've had Apple products for the last 10 years. And it said, have you ever had an Apple product where your Siri went off unprompted? Like, yeah, literally every day. So, so there you go. I don't know it's probably going to be like $10, but cool.
Hey Siri, is Apple the best phone?
Yeah, well,
me too, just like me.
Yeah, of course you are.
She's got a place in my heart.
Yeah,
but
Siri did not expect a special guest appearance from Siri today.
I can ask Google.
Yeah, but Google. Does Google talk to you like that?
I can say
Alexa, right?
No, it's Prime. Okay, Google.
You say, hey, Google. Is what
No,
it
I thought it
is.
was okay, Google.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I've never used it.
I
but
use it at home. I say, hey, Google.
I don't need to.
Yeah, we got the little. We got a little
I
Google
got,
thing.
I got thumbs. I can just type it out.
True.
And before we let you go, we did have some big sales. And I want to get to the Caitlin Clark stuff, but I want to jump right to the fact that the rights to Fire Festival were sold on eBay for $245,000.
We just bid under. We put a bid for $243,000 and just got under, unfortunately. So
you just get the branding so you can run your own Fire Festival at that point?
branding for Fire Festival. I could not believe when I read the story. Firefest auctioned off on eBay, and it was a real thing. What's the guy's name? Billy something? Is the you know what I'm talking about. Everyone's watched the documentaries.
Billy Fire.
Yeah, Billy
Ja
Fire. Ja Rule. But that guy who now out of jail decided at a big stunt, you know what? I'm going to sell off the brand IP because he, of course, with all of his ego, thought even with the fact that it was tarnished and it is this joke of an event will be good for its IP.
It sold for $250,000.
He was not happy about that.
Oh, I thought
He said
I thought it's a win.
His quote was, "Oh no, it's so much lower than I thought." He was hoping for like a few million.
Well, he needed to send the guy that was trying to get the water from the other guy. That's what he needed to send.
That's going to hey, you know what? $245,000 is going to buy you a lot of cold cheese sandwiches.
I wonder who
so
bought
good
it.
for him.
I wonder who bought it.
I'm curious.
Michael Rubin. No.
Could you imagine Fanatics Fest?
Now,
Festival?
can I start a fire with spelled the right way? I mean, it's the FYRE festival.
I would think so. Jeez. Why not? Yeah. So Fire Festival is now no longer Billy McFarland. That's his name, Billy McFarland. Fire Festival 2. There's still a website for it. I'm on it right now. From April 23rd of this year, Fire Festival 2. So
wait, it already passed.
Well, no, it's basically saying, hey, it's coming.
I
don't know how that works.
I heard about this. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it could only get better, right?
I mean, there's only one way to go from the last one, and that's up, 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 baby.
Well, it looks like not only does Ken Golden have Series 3 of the Golden Touch coming out on Netflix, but he's got some pretty big cards currently at auction in terms of the Caitlin Clark logo woman. Sorry. The flawless logo woman.
That one is currently on Fanatics.
Oh, it is. Okay, I'm sorry. He's got one.
There's competing.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so I think Fanatics has the flawless.
They have the flawless,
and Golden has the immaculate.
He has the immaculate.
And the NT has been pulled, but nobody has that one yet.
Both of these cards currently at the same price. A little surprising to me. I thought flawless would have had it beat by a good amount, not a crazy amount, but felt like flawless of these two should be the one. But I think the thing that sets it apart, if you're watching at home on YouTube, is the fact that the immaculate is inscribed Rookie of the Year 24, whereas that flawless 769 points and counting is kind of a okay.
I know that's kind of a lame
that's not the greatest inscription. I mean, she probably was like inscribing each one. It's like, I'm running out of inscriptions. Like, what else do you want me to do? I would have just put Rookie of the Year 24 on all of them, but
yeah,
that's just me.
Just because it's a rookie card, but yeah. And then I would rather have the flawless one over the immaculate, but I'd rather have the NT over the flawless.
Right.
I think me and Dan are in agreement on that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's the right ranking.
Doug gets it. Cody gets it.
NT, flawless, immaculate. That's the definitive
the
ranking.
pecking order.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people out there that don't get it, but that's fine.
That said, I mean, Ken Golden did go and say this may be the finest Caitlin Clark card of all time with the immaculate, knowing that the flawless is out there and the NT is out there.
What's he gonna say?
It's the third best Caitlin Clark. Yeah, no, of course he's not going to say that.
It's on the podium.
Now. The man knows how to sell. He's a showman.
Ain't nothing wrong with bronze.
Of course, yeah.
And
I mean, it's actually already higher than I would. I didn't expect the immaculate to get that high.
That's where I'm surprised. I thought it might. I thought crossing over 100K. Absolutely.
Do we think them being live at the same exact time is what is definitely boosting up the immaculate.
Yeah.
To keep up with the
I think in
flawless.
this instance, yes. I think in this, yeah, absolutely.
It's great publicity for both of these cards that they're simultaneously up for auction.
And Mizorowski
Mizorowski.
is currently, his superfractor is sitting at 32K. I don't know if you watched the World Series. I happened to watch, I'm sorry, the All-Star game. When he pitched, it seemed like there was a lot of giggling in the dugouts about this guy's, pitched 5 innings.
How many, every single guy was at the top step for both sides when he went out there. Everybody wanted to see what's this kid got. Whether it was because they're haters or it's, man, this guy's stuff is electric.
Well, he's
one
been
way or another.
They didn't have a scouting report.
Yeah, he's
on
been
him.
in the league for 8 seconds. So they're just like, I want to see this guy.
Just saying.
Because I don't have any film on him.
He threw one pitch below 102 miles per hour. I'm just saying. He went out there and he showed out. Good for him.
I think they juiced the
Good for
radar gun
him.
a little bit for the All-Star game, don't you think?
I mean, sure, but
I mean, he
three-
was probably throwing 94, 95, and they're like, juice it up 5 to 7 miles an hour.
all 3 of his outs were deep fly balls. So
I did see that.
they were all deep fly balls. 32K for his first Bowman Super is nuts. I did not genuinely, as much as I love to say year of the pitcher, this is not in a million years that I think we would have. We're not at Paul Skeen's repeat territory here, but we're a lot closer than I would have expected for a pitcher again in this season. It's pretty nuts.
Sell it now. Sell all your Paul Skeens.
Sell. Well, Skeens, sell some big ones. Hold on to some other ones. That dude's legit.
Sell your Paul Skeens. He's a pitcher.
I guess I don't know. You're right. I mean, you're probably look. You're right.
In 10 years, you will be happy.
You're right.
That you sold all your Paul Skeens. Because there would have been 8 other guys in that time that we all were like coming up, and he's like, this is going to be the next greatest pitcher ever to do.
I think we looked it up, and the best Clayton Kershaw card, or the highest selling Clayton Kershaw card, would be like the 4th highest selling Paul Skeens card of all time. So that
you can go through and you can.
And the man just got 3,000 strikeouts.
Right. I mean, he's going to the Hall of Fame.
about-
He's the pitcher of his generation.
Go through and look at Max Scherzer's cards.
Scherzer,
or Verlander.
Yeah.
Any of these guys that are generational pitchers. Generational talent.
I bet you said there was some Strasburgs that sold more from those guys because there was so much hype around Strasburg.
Sure. This is why this is uncharted territory with Jacob Mizorowski. He's already double his biggest card sale, and there's still time left on that. That's going to be a 50K card. I did not see that coming.
Unless he starts hitting and goes 50-50 and starts putting up Ohtani numbers.
Yeah.
Sell it.
There was actually, I'm going to give some credit to the Sports Card Nonsense Forum. I took a picture of this today because I thought it was a good talking point before we end the show. So there was a Justin Jefferson Black Finite 101, the rookie, that sold on eBay 3 months ago for $7K, right? It's currently at auction. I'm saying the $7K was 3 months ago. It's currently at auction on Fanatics Collective for $57K. He hasn't even played another game since then.
What?
So they're asking on this forum, like I said, check out Sports Card Nonsense. They might be talking about it on their show. Is this a result of the Jaden Daniels card being bought by the owner, thinking that, okay, now any kind of pivotal one-on-one of a top player in the league is going to have enormous value?
This is his rookie year one-on-one?
It says the Black Finite. I'm assuming.
Okay.
I actually will go on Fanatics Collect right now and see.
Nuts.
Right?
That's nuts.
3 months ago, he was.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything on the field.
No. I would have guessed it would have been down because that. I would have actually guessed it would have gone down a little bit.
$7,000 sounds like a great deal.
Oh, yeah. For Justin Jefferson?
$57,000 doesn't sound like as good of a deal.
Hard pass.
Yeah, I don't get as excited about $57,000.
No.
As
But
I do $7,000.
here's the thing is you got $57,000 to burn. You want to spend it on that one or the Jacob Mizorowski first Bowman Superfractor? Because they're probably going to go for the same amount. Oh, that's wild to think.
Well, no, because the Jefferson's already above. I mean, is the other one still live?
The Mizrowski's fight is still live. It's at 32K with about a week left. It's probably gonna hit the 50K mark. Not probably. It almost certainly will.
Justin Jefferson.
I can't find this to confirm
better
that it was
football
real.
player than Jacob
Mizrowski
is
the
baseball
Miz.
player.
The Miz.
Sorry.
Like him.
Yeah, I can't seem to find. Oh, maybe it's because I have Buy It Now's auctions. I just want to confirm that this was in fact true. Yeah, see that all I can find is a finite 1/1 auto that sold for $11,000 back in November during the season. Let's see if there was one that's live now. But if that's in fact true, that is crazy. That's the craziest off-season jump I've ever seen.
I mean, clearly, if you've got black finite prisms, sell them now because they're never going to get any better than they are. That's pretty nuts. All it took was one NFL owner making a crazy ass purchase.
Yes.
And it's potentially lifting what do they say? Rising tides lifts all ships. There we are.
We also had some Bedard, a Bedard 1/1 rookie shield from Ultimate Collection sold for $56,000 over this weekend. Similar numbers to his pre-2020 card sale of a PSA 10 Cup RPA that sold for $55,000.
Oh, that'd be Connor McDavid's.
Or I'm sorry, yeah. What did I say?
Thought that was an interesting comparison.
Oh, Bedard versus McDavid.
Yeah, because that's the record for Bedard currently. Is that Ultimate Collection 1/1 shield? Obviously, Cup was going to top that when that does hit the market. You would imagine, but. Interesting that in pre-2020, McDavid's biggest card sale was about the same price as what we're at now with an Ultimate Collection Bedard. So if you're wondering where that market is, it's still healthy.
Still right.
I thought McDavid had.
Oh, he's got some. I mean, he just had a $300,000 card. So this is just pre-2020, which I thought just kind of an interesting comparison with the two of them. But yeah, no, I think there are at least
we haven't seen
6-figure sales.
We haven't seen that cup surface, right?
I haven't seen.
We actually have. You know, we haven't seen either. Now that
Darn.
you're bringing this up, the 1/1 outburst. Remember, they created the 1/1.
Right.
The Young Guns 1/1 outburst.
That's right. We haven't.
They created it for that year, and I know DA had $1 million bounty on it. It has not came out yet.
It is not. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
Rip some Series 2, I think it was, from last year.
What are those boxes going for? They got to be down a little bit, I would imagine. Probably not
down.
a ton,
I think they're down a fair amount.
All right, well, let's do it. Let's rip them. 20 cases. Let's
20 cases. All right, guys. Well, that is all we got for the show today. Make sure you check out Wax Tracks and Warning Packs with Bubba and Cody here, talking about baseball every Friday, as well as join us on Fanatics Live for Topps Chrome, as well as Mojobreak.com for Topps Chrome. And we'll see you guys at the National next week. And we'll catch you guys on the next podcast episode. Peace.
Yep. Quick scheduling. No new hype next week. Doug going to be at the National, but you can catch the breakdown next week as well as Wax Pack and Warning Tracks. So there you go.
There we go. Peace out.
Later.